Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Portalora, a young man named Chindu lived a fast-paced life filled with constant noise, honking cars, and unending hustle. Chindu was 28, handsome, smart, and well-educated. He worked in a tech company and had everything a modern man could wish for, yet something was missing. He often dreamed of the countryside, lush green landscapes, smiling faces, and a life less complicated. One rainy afternoon, after a particularly stressful day at work, Chindu stared out of his office window and remembered the stories his late grandmother used to tell him about their ancestral village, Untold. A place where time slowed down, and people lived in harmony with nature and each other. He made a spontaneous decision. He applied for leave, packed his bags, and embarked on a journey that would change his life forever. The road to Untold was long and winding. As he traveled deeper into the heart of the country, the air grew fresher, and the scenery more vibrant. Lush forests, sparkling rivers, and traditional mud houses lined the path. When he arrived, he was welcomed with wide smiles, drumming, and dancing. Word quickly spread that the grandson of Mama Foma had returned. The villagers remembered his grandmother as a wise woman and healer. The village chief, an elderly man named Igadu, personally came to greet him. "You are welcome home, my son," he said, placing a kola nut in Chindu's hand. "Your presence here is a blessing." Chindu was given a room in his grandmother's old compound, which had been well maintained by distant relatives. That night, under the stars and to the hum of crickets, he felt peace like never before. Over the next few days, Chindu immersed himself in village life. He helped at the farms, learned how to fish, and even joined the village youth in playing traditional games. He was surprised to find how happy and connected he felt. Then came the girls. Untold was known for its beautiful women, and Chindu noticed this almost immediately. There was Adaobi, graceful and soft-spoken with eyes like polished ebony. Then there was Ifunanya, playful and bold, who laughed easily and challenged him to palm wine drinking contests. And there was Na, a skilled dancer whose movements told stories that touched the soul. The village elders noticed how well Chindu adapted and how respected he became among the people. One evening, during a village gathering, Igadu made an announcement. "I am old, and my time as ruler draws near an end. We have sought a leader who is educated, wise, and rooted in our customs. We have found him. Chindu, the son of Untold, will be our next king." The village erupted in cheers. Chindu stood shocked, then humbled. "But I am just a visitor," he said. "Not anymore," Igadu smiled. "This is your home now." Preparations began for his coronation. The women weaved royal garments, the elders consulted the oracles, and the youth rehearsed dances. During this time, Chindu spent more time with Adaobi and Ifunanya. Torn between the two, he sought the advice of Mama Kishi, a wise old widow. "Why choose one when both love you and understand your calling?" she asked. "A true king brings unity." On the day of his coronation, under the ancient Iroko tree, Chindu was adorned with the crown of Untold. Drummers played, masquerades danced, and the people chanted his name. He made a speech, promising to bring progress without forgetting tradition. That evening, a double celebration was held, his coronation and wedding. Chindu married both Adaobi and Ifunanya, with the blessing of the village and the guidance of the elders. Years passed, and King Chindu ruled wisely. He built schools and clinics, yet preserved sacred groves and festivals. Under his leadership, Untold flourished. Though he came from the city, he found his true purpose in the heart of the village. And so, the city boy became king, not by birthright, but by love, culture, and destiny. Years passed, and King Chindu ruled wisely. He built schools and clinics, yet preserved sacred groves and festivals. Under his leadership, Amunato flourished. He fathered children with both Adaobi and Ifunanya, raising a generation that valued both education and tradition. Adaobi, with her calm demeanor, handled internal village affairs, while Ifunanya traveled with him to nearby communities to strengthen alliances. His reign, however, was not without challenges. A drought once struck the land, testing his leadership. Chindu consulted the elders, combined ancient rain-invoking rites with modern irrigation techniques, and successfully salvaged the farming season. The people praised his wisdom and saw the gods working through him. Another time, a conflict broke out with a neighborhood village over land boundaries. Instead of violence, King Chindu organized the cultural festival and invited their rivals to participate. Through music, dance, and dialogue, peace was restored, and trade resumed. As the years rolled by, stories of the city boy turned king spread far and wide. Travelers and scholars visited Amunato to witness the blend of culture and modernity. One day, under the same Iroko tree where he was crowned, Chindu sat with his sons. He told them the story of how he came from the city, seeking peace, and found a home, a kingdom, and a purpose. "Never forget your roots," he said. "And never fear to follow your heart, even when the path is unfamiliar." And so, his legacy endured, a city soul who embraced the village, married love, ruled with wisdom, and left behind a kingdom where tradition danced with progress. But destiny had more stories to write. Years after Chindu's reign began, a mysterious traveler arrived in Amunato. He was called Obi, a young man who spoke little but observed much. Rumors spread that he was from the distant mountains of Ndike, a land known for its warriors and ancient shrines. King Chindu welcomed him and allowed him to live among the people. Obi became a close companion to Chindu's eldest son, Somadina. The two often explored the sacred groves, asked the elders questions, and studied both modern texts and ancient scrolls in the royal library. But there was something different about Obi. During a thunderstorm, it was said he was seen walking alone into the forest, singing an old dialect no one had heard in generations. Then, one night, he saved the life of a child bitten by a viper using only a chant and herbs. The people began to whisper, could Obi be a reincarnated priest? King Chindu, curious and cautious, summoned Obi. "Who are you, truly?" he asked. Obi bowed deeply. "I am the son of a forgotten shrine, sent to restore balance. My people were lost to time, but the gods remembered. They led me here." The revelation sparked a new chapter in Amunato. Obi was given a title, the Keeper of Forgotten Ways. With his guidance, the people rediscovered lost songs, dances, and rituals. Festivals became more vibrant. Healing practices once abandoned were revived. But change brought opposition. Some elders feared Obi's influence. One, Chief Madhu, believed Obi sought to undermine the throne. Madhu began to stir unrest, claiming Obi practiced dark magic. When a strange illness spread through the village, fingers pointed to Obi. Chindu stood firm. He called for a trial at the Iroko tree. There, under the gaze of the ancestors, Obi knelt and declared, "Let the gods judge me. If my spirit is impure, may lightning strike me now." Silence followed. The sky remained clear. A gentle wind blew, and a white dove landed on Obi's shoulder. The people wept. Even Chief Madhu fell to his knees. Peace was restored. Obi remained an advisor, guiding both spiritual and communal matters. Meanwhile, Chindu's daughters grew. Amaka, bold and curious, desired to travel beyond Amunato. With her father's blessing, she visited cities and returned with knowledge of commerce and fashion. She opened a trade hub, bringing prosperity. Her sister, Chinello, chose a different path. She became a guardian of the sacred grove, learning ancient languages and communicating with oracles. The village began to see her as the spiritual twin to Obi. As Chindu aged, he called a great assembly. There, he divided responsibilities, so Medina would govern, Amaka would handle trade, Chinelo would oversee spiritual affairs, and Obi would remain the keeper of balance. Chindu retired to a quiet part of the village with his wives, often seen teaching children, planting trees, and telling tales of the past. In his final days, he smiled often. He had come from the city with only a suitcase and a longing heart. He now had a family, a legacy, and a land that thrived. When he passed, the land mourned for 7 days. Drums echoed through valleys, and fires burned in his honor. A statue was erected at the village square, with the inscription, "Here stood a man who came seeking peace and gave a kingdom his soul." But the story of Amunato did not end with Chindu. Under the reign of Somedina, Chindu's first son, Amunato began a new chapter. Somedina was not his father, but he carried the blood and wisdom of kings. A deep thinker and skilled diplomat, he focused on unifying surrounding villages, building a coalition that expanded Amunato's influence. He continued his father's legacy, combining the wisdom of Obi and the entrepreneurial acumen of his sister Amaka. With the rise of technology, Somedina introduced solar lighting, digital education hubs, and cross-village marketplaces powered by clean energy. Amaka's trade empire grew. With caravan routes reaching as far as the coast, Amunato became a beacon of economic success. Foreigners visited not just to buy goods, but to witness how a village balanced wealth with culture. Amaka introduced cloths dyed with ancient patterns, exported storytelling art, and even launched a festival of origins, which attracted crowds from across the region. Chinelo, on the other hand, experienced visions. The sacred grove whispered to her that danger approached, a danger cloaked in smiles. She warned her siblings that a group of foreign investors offering development were seeking something buried deep in the land, the Heartstone, a crystal of immense spiritual power. Obi confirmed it. The Heartstone was buried by the ancestors and could either bless a nation or destroy it. Together, they devised a plan. Somedina delayed negotiations. Chinelo performed a rite to mask the stone's energy. Amaka launched a cultural misinformation campaign suggesting the stone had been moved long ago. But one of the investors was not fooled. He was a descendant of those who once clashed with the ancestors of Amunato, and he had come to claim what he believed was his right. Tensions rose. Strange occurrences plagued the village. Children fell sick. Crops withered. And one evening, a sacred statue wept blood. Somedina convened a secret council, Chinelo, Amaka, Obi, and the elders. The Heartstone had to be protected. Obi led a spiritual defense, summoning guardians of the forest and invoking ancestral warriors. Chinelo activated protective glyphs embedded into the stones of the palace. Amaka secured external support from allied villages. A spiritual battle ensued. While the villagers saw only stormy nights and flickering lights, in the realm of spirits, warriors clashed, light battled shadow. At dawn, peace returned. The investor disappeared. The sickness vanished. The crops revived. And a new legend was born. Somedina became known not just as a king, but as the protector of the heart. Amunato stood stronger than ever, not just for its beauty and unity, but for its unseen power. The saga of Amunato continued, and the spirits smiled. Thank you for watching this video. More tales are coming your way via this channel. Please subscribe, like, comment and share. God bless you.